welcome to my new video. This is going to be focusing on the Beatles albums released in the UK from 1963 through to 1970. Did one on the singles last week, so thought let's get the albums out, reminisce. Always nice to have a look through those albums. They're all very familiar to everybody, I'm sure, but what I'd like to do is try and remember exactly when I bought these albums and my least favourite track on each one, if that's possible, but something's got to come at the bottom, so we'll start right away with Please Please Me, the very first album released by the Beatles in 1963, and this one is on the gold, on the gold Parlophone label. Now, I had this, I think it was 1973, and somebody I know didn't want this anymore and passed it on to me for a small amount of money, and I was quite grateful to receive this album. I didn't have it at the time. It was 10 years after the release, so I thought now's a chance to get the first Beatles album, not realising at the time the importance of the label, because this was a very early pressing. It's not in fantastic condition, as you can see. The sellotape marks here, there and everywhere. The sleeve's intact, but just a little bit on the tatty side. But I don't believe this album is any worse now than when it was given to me back in the early 70s. So I've looked after this quite well, and it's still in the same condition, albeit a bit tatty. Now, least favourite track on this, I think I would have to pick Do You Want to Know a Secret? I think that would have been a better track had John sang this one instead of George, and that's the reason it's my least favourite. I don't care too much for George's vocals on this one. Apart from that, it's still a great track. I still like the song, but it's the least favourite, so something's got to come at the bottom. So moving forwards to the second Beatles album in the UK with the Beatles. Now this one is on the yellow Parlophone label, still an original polyliner sleeve. Now I think I had this one in 1969, and again it was passed down to me through somebody else. So again, another grateful receipt of a great album. Least favourite track on this one, second track, side 2, Hold Me Tight. Don't like the vocals on that one at the end. Paul seems to go a little bit off key, but apart from that, it's not a bad track. So there we go. Great cover. Beatles starting to improve the not just them, but the whole world of album covers started to get better. Right. Third album, Hard Day's Night. I had this one Christmas 1965. I know that for a fact because my uncle bought this for me, and I also had a record player off Mum and Dad for Christmas, and my uncle bought this to go with it. I can always remember it was 1965 because I also had Day Tripper, We Can Work It Out on a single, so I knew it's 65. Least favourite track? Tell Me Why. No reasons why, just least favourite. Fourth, Beatles For Sale. Starting to look a bit tired now, the boys. Again, this one is on the yellow Parlophone, still in the original sleeve, inner sleeve. Now, I think I did buy this new, I had it new, so this is not second hand, it's first hand. I think it'd be around about, hard to recollect, but I think it'd be late 60s, so it could be 68, 69-ish. Definitely in the late 60s. Least favourite track on this one, Mr. Moonlight, side 1. No reason, just the least favourite. Right, don't think John was too happy with Mr. Moonlight, I don't remember rightly, not sure. Anyway, Help, next one. Again, yellow parlophone. I don't want to keep going everyone out, but this is the yellow parlophone. I think I had this one in 1966. New. Mum and Dad bought this for me. So I can remember it was the year after I had my record player. I can remember having this, I think probably in the summertime. I remember playing this in the summer of 66. Got some memories associated with that. Problem with this one is I've wrote on the back, as you do when you're a kid, you do these silly things. But least favourite track, I think, would be, not sure on this one because I do like most of them. I think if push comes to shove, I think it would be You Like Me Too Much, one of George's songs. No reason. Somebody's got to be at the bottom. Right. Rubber Soul. Now I had this one, and no, this would be in the 70s, but I know it's a 60s pressing, yellow parlophone, flip back sleeve. Least favourite track, Run For Your Life. Right. Revolver. I had this one brand new, I think in 1968 or 69, yellow parlophone. So it is a later pressing, came out in 66, so it is a yellow parlophone, but a later edition. Great album. Right, moving a little bit more forward to Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. Had this brand new, December 1967. Had it for Christmas off Mum and Dad. I was thrilled to bits with this album. Still got the swirl sleeve. Haven't got the cutouts. I cut them out and don't know where they are. Disappeared in the midst of time. But there you go. This is what think big kids do. You can even see, let me see there, pinholes in the sleeve. So I had that picture on my wall. Jelly Belly. Least favourite track is When I'm 64, and also Good Morning, Good Morning. Take those two tracks off, put Penny Lane, Strawberry Fields Forever on, and it would be near impossible for me to pick a least favourite track. Those two tracks, Penny Lane, Strawberry Fields Forever, on this album would have made this an absolute world beater. It's a world beater anyway, but just imagine those two tracks instead of When I'm 64 and Good Morning, Good Morning. They could have been a single instead of Penny Lane, Strawberry Fields. Oh well, I know George Martin is he was very upset about not having those two songs on here, so I'm with George on that one. Right, yellow parlophone still. I'm going from the yellow parlophone to the green apple and the white apple if it's on the B-side. This is the Beatles White Double album. This one is number 0261725. I had this one brand new, this one, this actual one, November 1968 when it came out. And the reason I had it in November 1968 because it was my birthday in November, so figure that one out. Least favourite track, very difficult, very difficult. I think I'd possibly have to go with, I don't know, Honey Pie, I don't know, not Wild Honey Pie itself, maybe, it's one of Paul's, as John would call it, granny songs, but I do like the entire album and I wouldn't take anything off this whatsoever. It could have been a triple, so Hey Jude, Revolution, Lady Madonna, In the Light. No singles that year from the Beatles, could have had a triple album, but maybe not. Maybe better off as we are. The Beatles White Double album on Apple. Love it. Right, next. Not quite a proper release, but it was Yellow Submarine soundtrack. Now I had this one very, very late on. I'm probably talking 10-20 years after this came out originally. So I think I got the CD when it came out, and I think I got this album after that, and it was a few years. So for quite a number of years I didn't have Only Northern Song, All Together Now, Hey Bulldog, All Too Much. Didn't have them songs at all. Call myself a Beatles fan, and I'm a bit songs missing. Silly. Anyway, so that's when I had it, I think. Can't pinpoint the exact year, but it could have been 90s, could have been 2000s. I honestly can't remember. Least favourite track? All Together Now. No point picking anything on the B-side, such George Martin's orchestrations, because I like all those. But All Together Now, it's a bit of a throwaway track, I think, a bit of a filler track from the Beatles. Still okay, works well in the film. Moving on to the penultimate release, and that is Abbey Road. Apple. I had this 3 weeks after the original release of this album in 1969. So I think, would that be October? Early October, 69. Albums in them days, in old UK British money, 37 shillings and sixpence, which is just under £2, right? And I used to have a little piggy bank of something like that. I used to save a bit of money, you know, used to do a few chores around the house, get a few bob here and there. And I counted the money when this album came out, a bit short. Got 30 shillings, right? And this was 3 weeks after the event. 30 shillings in the piggy bank. Mum used to give me 7 shillings and sixpence every week, regardless of chores or no chores. That was my minimum wage. I top that up now and again. So I was 7 shillings and sixpence short, right? So I got 30 shillings. So I said to Mum, 3 weeks after this came out, Mum, can I have next week's pocket money today, please? What do you want that for? I want to buy the new Beatles album. And she knew I was just crazy about the Beatles, so she said, okay, but remember, you will not have any money at all for 2 weeks, unless you do some more chores. I said, that's fine. I want the album. I don't care. I don't care if I'm skint. I want the album. She says, okay then, there's your 7 shillings and sixpence, which is just under 50 pence. Okay, so down to the shop, and I got this album out, took it home, loved it, and I still do. And it didn't need a remix or a remaster. This is the go-to Abbey Road. Get the UK 1969 Abbey Road. Can't go wrong. Get in good condition. Better than this. This is a bit. They're not very good condition. I've replaced a few of these as I've gone along, but these are my original, as a kid, purchased Beatles albums. Right. So least favourite track, I think it's got to be Maxwell's Silver Hammer. Yeah, I think so. I sort of like it, but that's the track I would more than likely skip. If I did skip, I don't skip really, but I had to, that's the one. Right, the final Beatles release, even though this was recorded before Abbey Road, it's Let It Be. Right, and this is the Let It Be box set, which came with the album and the Get Back book there. We all know what this is, don't we? Some of the pages are falling out. It's not too bad actually, that one. It's not too bad. It wasn't bound very well, but this isn't too bad. I've seen far worse than this. I think mainly it's because I've kept it in the box. Not really looked at it too much. I mean, probably when I first bought the album, I went all the way through with a magnifying glass and looked at every picture, and probably not bothered too much after that, so kept it in a nice condition. The album's not too bad. I'll leave the album inside, but the story behind that one, I bought that one day of release 1970, and I was outside my record store, only a little independent shop, and I was there 10 to 9 in the morning, and the guy in the shop was already there. We hadn't opened up yet. It still says closed on the door. So I just stood there. 10 minutes, he'll be open in a minute. Next thing the door opens and he said, "Morning, young man, what can I do for you? Are you waiting to come in?" I said, "Yeah, well, I want that new Beatles album, please. Let it be. Have you got the box set?" I said, "Yeah, I've got that, yeah." So I want to buy that. He says, "Go on then, you come in early, I'll get it now." Oh, great. So into the shop, passes me this album. This is the one, brand new. This is not second hand, this is mine. Right, I give him, I think it was they were £3 maybe. I think it might have been about £3 for the box set. So again, you come out of the shop not really realising at the time the value this was going to fetch at some point. And I wish I'd put this in the bank vault now or something like that. so I'll get even more money for it if I decided to sell it. But I won't be selling these. I mean, we're just custodians to these albums, aren't we, really? We just get passed on to somebody else at some point, and I just hope they get looked after by the new custodian and get passed down, whatever. So don't want to see them in any skips. Right, okay, that brings it to the end. The Black Album, Abbey Road. Let it be. Right, okay, so that was a nice sentimental journey there through my Beatles albums, and hope you enjoyed listening to my little stories about each one. And as Beatle Brad says on his channel, I'm out of here. Bye bye, and thanks for tuning in.